Hi guys, I'm back with another video. My name's Manvitha Indukuri, and I have written my email ID up there, so throughout this video, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at that email address. So in my previous video, I kind of talked about choosing medicine as a career option, and while I was making that video, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of step back and kind of give you guys tips on how to transition from high school into college, what are the different types of challenges that most college students go through, and kind of even help you choose the right college out of all the ones that you apply to, and give you some study tips for when you're in college, because college education is really different from high school education, and it really does require you to have a different skill set and work through the 3 or 4 years that you're in college and just constantly grind yourself way through college. So what I'm going to be talking about first is basically the factors that you should consider before choosing a college, and kind of all the different things that go into choosing a college that you're going to spend the next 4 years at, which most of the time goes far beyond liking the campus, finding a good support system, liking the amount of diversity on campus. It's really, those factors do play a really big role into how your overall experience is going to be on college, which I'll talk into a little bit more, but there's a lot more other things that I feel a lot of students overlook, and that can really compromise your career just ahead of time. So the number one thing that I want you guys to focus on before selecting a college, hopefully you guys get multiple acceptances and everything, and when you're applying, is the key trick is to make sure that you have reach schools, you have a little out of scope schools, and little safety schools based on what your overall ACT score is, what your or SAT score is, or your extracurricular activities are. So based on that, do make a list of what schools you think you might not get into, what schools you think that you have a chance of getting into, what are your safety schools, just in case you don't get into the ones that you want, your dream schools or anything like that. So make a list like that. And when you're making a list, some of the things you do have to consider include the program that you're interested in, the scholarships, the tuition, the dorms, the meal plans cost, student organizations on campus, opportunities available on campus, and also support. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the program. There are so many programs out there in the same category of majors that a student chooses. For example, I majored in biology at Lipscomb University, and I have a sister that goes to Belmont University who's also kind of sort of majoring in biology. But the program that each of our universities offers is really completely different, to be very honest. We often focus on different aspects of the same subject versus what my sister does. So really go into the details of the program, see if it really interests you, see if they're going to cover what you're really interested in learning about or what you really want to do in the future. Talk to advisors. I feel like if you just go to campus and ask them for some information, go to the department that you're interested in and ask them for their email IDs. They're really, really helpful people. Most colleges have really, really supportive staff. So just go and ask them for their email ID. Go, if you have the chance, go talk to current students on campus and see what they like about the department, see what they don't like about the department. Is there anything that they regret choosing, or is there anything that they wish the program did better? Talk to the administration committee and see if there's anything in specific that interests you, or any extracurricular activity that especially interests you in the program. For example, for me, choosing Lipscomb University was a big task because I wanted a school that not only prepared me for medical school, not only gave me a well-rounded experience, but I also wanted to serve my community. I didn't want to just put my nose in a book for 4 years and focus on getting other extracurricular activities in and outside of school. I really wanted my education and service to go hand in hand at the school that I attended. So what Lipscomb University does is, as a part of its cancer biology class, we are given the option to go and serve at the American Cancer Society Hope Lodge. I would take the class simultaneously, and after class I would go and serve at the Community Hope Lodge. Lipscomb University also had a service requirement, so we had 2 service requirements called SALT tiers, which basically just stands for for service and learning together. So we have to get those in order to graduate. So we were we were already had the contract and saying that I'm going to go and serve, or if not, then you don't have to give me a degree until I complete that requirement. So that was a really big thing that made me decide Lipscomb University, because everything was just going hand in hand. The biology program was great. There was a really good support system. The professors and everyone were really, really supportive of, making sure students get to where they want to be in life. So make sure you consider your program and make sure it interests you. The next one I'm going to talk about is scholarships and tuition, fees, meal plan prices, and all of that. I never personally lived on dorms, but I did have friends that live on dorms, and I would really consider that if you think you don't want to be paying off student loans for however many years after you graduate, then I would probably look at a school that doesn't have such high tuition or fees, because I know that on their websites they're probably just gonna say tuition fees. This much is for home, like lodging and dorm rooms and everything, but there's always hidden costs that they're not necessarily putting up on there, and you don't actually know until you get your official first payment bill that you have to make sure you cover in for the semester. So it is really expensive. There are a lot of scholarships that are out there that some schools give out to students. I remember transferring from a community college, and I was getting a lot of scholarships that I never even knew existed. So make sure you go to their financial aid building and department, and make sure that you know of the different type of loans available, the different type of scholarships. There are some academic scholarships available for a lot of students, so make sure you know those, and kind of make sure that really fits in your budget of what you're hoping to be spending over the next couple of years. The third one, and just to make note, these are in no particular order, I just wrote them down. So third one is student organizations. Make sure you find organizations on campus that really organizations and opportunities, I guess I can combine these two. Make sure you actually find organizations and clubs and other opportunities that previous students experienced that really interest you on campus, because trust me, over the next 3 or 4 years you're going to be so tired with studying. You're gonna have so much stress on you. You're gonna have a lot of tests going on. You're gonna have a lot of other personal life issues going on with this, and you really need an opportunity to kind of just break through and let everything out and kind of just go and relax and do something with your friends, do something fun, do something creative. So make sure you find student organizations. For me on campus, I found a mask society, which is basically a multicultural awareness society, and I used to go take part in that. It was fun. We got to have like a fashion show with where people from different parts of the world came and showcased their traditional dresses or traditional attire, and it was really fun. So make sure you find something like that really interests you, or anything that you think would benefit you in the future that's not necessarily academically related, because this will kind of also help you in the future when you're applying to grad schools or your job. I mean, they want to see a well-rounded candidate. They just don't want to see someone that made a 4.0 GPA and has a really good entrance score. They want to see more than that, because nowadays everyone is stepping up their game, and almost all students are putting in their 100% effort to really do well in school. So you really need to stand out with your organizations and opportunities, and that's probably one area that you would want to focus more on. The next one is support. Make sure the school that you go to is competitive, but not in a negative way, I would say. Because I remember being a part of a community where I was fortunate enough not to have so much competition. I had friends that were super supportive. They would share their information with me, and we were all pre-med, so kind of finding that environment in a pre-med community is harder, I guess, because everyone's so secretive of what they're doing with their organizations, what they're doing with their extracurriculars, or what they're making in classes. So make sure you find a good support system that will really bring the best out of you and not necessarily doubt your abilities, because that could really take a toll on your mental health. And trust me, you don't want mental health problems through this journey that's already difficult by itself. So those are the I can't count 5 important things that I would consider when choosing a college. So the next thing I'm going to go into is study tips, which I have right over here. So when you're in college, I would say the biggest thing, I was a tutor at Lipscomb University, and I tutored a couple of freshmen. I think the biggest thing that most freshmen struggle with is not being able to manage time. They come into school, or they come into college with an attitude that it's going to be partying all over, 24/7, which I mean, I'm not sure. I went to a school where I don't think there was a lot of partying to the school that I went to, but there's a life outside of partying. I'm not saying don't go. I'm not trying to sound like a nerd or anything. Go have fun. Go party and everything, all that. But make sure you have a good enough understanding before you come into college. College is not just about partying, eating, and hanging out with friends. It's a lot more. It's actually going to be your career in the future. It actually is going to determine what you can do in the future. So make sure you go into college with a good understanding of that. Make sure you have a well-balanced understanding. Make sure you seek help when you want to. Go and visit professors during their office hours. Professors are really, really awesome. Just go and visit them during their office hours. If you have any questions in class, don't be afraid to ask for help. This is college, and everyone's at different stages of their lives. Some people might get something on their first try. Some people might get it on their 50th try. It is absolutely fine. Just go ask for help and you will be fine. It's not a competition. If you want to make it a competition, make it against yourself. Like, try to be better than your last grade. Just compare yourself to yourself and not to anyone else, because that'll really, take a lot of stress off you, and it will make you succeed and go much more further in life than will you go and by comparing yourself to others. The next one is ACS, and this might vary from school to school. The ACS at my school stands for the Academic Success Center. Sorry, I wrote that wrong up there. It's the ASC. ACS stands for the American Chemical Society. That is not what I want to write up there. It is the ASC, which stands for the Academic Success Center. Some schools call it the Learning Center. These centers are usually in the library or in some student buildings, like student clubs or anything like that. What they do is they really help students with their weak spots. They help them transition into college. They help them deal with stress. They help them, get over tough classes. They're really, really good little resources that you guys can use, and make sure you know where they are on your campus. The next one are peers and advisors. If you transfer from a college, or if you're a freshman, there's always going to be someone that was exactly in your shoes the previous year. So be able to talk to people around you. Be able to talk to your advisors. They're there to help you. They might give you advice that you think is kind of contradictory, but just listen to what they have to say, and then think about it. And if you want to take it, go ahead and take it. If not, then at least you listen to a perspective that might help you in the future. So make sure you take their advice, and see what they did when they were in similar shoes, and see if that'll actually really help you. And the next one, and the last one I'm going to talk about, the library and hobbies. The library has many resources, honestly. I feel like the ACS and everything are usually in the library, so make sure you go to a library where they have tutors and everyone. They usually help you give tours across campus too. The last one is hobbies. Do not, and I cannot stress this enough, do not compromise your hobbies and interests in course of getting a good grade. Your hobbies and interests are what make you you. So these can even help you elevate your stress a little bit. So make sure you don't compromise those. And the very last thing that I would like to say is, do not let people tell you otherwise. Don't let them doubt your capabilities. If they doubt it, then take it in a positive way and tell yourself, no, I can do much better than that, and just work for it. Don't let them, just because someone says you can't do something doesn't mean that you can't do it. No one knows you better than yourself. I was told I can't do it just because I transferred from a community college, and I succeeded. I did well. My professors later came up to me and said, hey, I really didn't think you would be able to do it. I'm really proud of you. So don't let them tell you anything against what your true capability is. You know yourself better. Just keep going with it, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough, but at the end, when you look back, when you're going to walk across the graduation stage, on your graduation day, you're going to look back and say, I